right, we are going to go through quite a bit here, so we're going to zoom right through. I don't have a whole lot of time before I got to go to work, but let me show you what we got here. Bear with me one moment. All right, there I am. All right, so currently this is what we are showing as the outlook. We do have, hello everyone, this is Henry Kramer 605 Chaser, a little bit later than what I expected, but was waiting for SPC to have a good update, solid update, as well as was trying to get my Radar Omega getting going here. So we are live on YouTube. I am going to actually go through this a little bit. So what we're anticipating is Friday evening. We'll show you on the estimated radar loop here with the models. So 8 a.m. updates have come through, and we're just waiting for a few additional loops to be available. So we'll get to that very shortly. What a night it was for chasing. Wish I would have been able to be there, but unfortunately had to work. So we do show that there are significant damage in some areas of the Chicago, Illinois metro area. So prayers and thoughts go to those folks there. So all right, so what we have here is this evening is going to be primarily in south central South Dakota for severe storms, and that's only a 30% risk. Friday is probably the chase-worthy day, depending on how things really develop. But as you can see, overall, cooler temperatures, that's a big headline highlight, and less muggy feeling for folks in South Dakota, so that's going to be awesome. But that's what we have for the outlook on Sioux Falls. Let's take a look now for the radar loops and see what we can come up with there. Let's see what they've got. This is currently the temperatures that we have. As you can tell, much cooler temperatures, but still kind of muggy. And this will probably be the last muggy day for a very short bit. We'll probably jumping ahead, so we'll hold off on jumping too far ahead. This is what we're showing for the surface analysis. There's a low. This is going to be our little disturbance, and this was updated at 4 a.m. I believe. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that was updated at 4 a.m. So that was where it was positioned for folks. 4 a.m. As you can see, quite a bit of storms still going on down in Topeka, Kansas City area, and those will trek off to a northeast direction, eventually pushing off to the southeast here. It is more so east. I apologize. Yep. 50 miles an hour, 70 mile an hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail. So those folks that are traveling on I-29 south into Kansas City metro area and eventually moving into Jefferson City, we could see some showers and some thunderstorms redevelop there. Let's take a look now with regards to the SPC Outlook for today. Oh, they did enhance the New York area. Let me shut off these surface analysis here. All right, so we do have the surface analysis off, and let's take a look. Here is where things are shaping up for later today. As you can see, it does stretch into the Yankton area, but I primarily think that this is going to be the area of concern. Let's see. I have not looked at the latest loop of HRRR, but that's my guess. All right, let's take a look. HRRR, and then we'll go over to New York and show that information as well. This was updated as of 8 a.m. Let's zoom out so we can see the big picture here for composite reflective. We're focusing right now on the HRRR weather model in the Nebraska area and how these storms may evolve based on just this one model. 4 p.m., folks, anyone that's near Highway 20, and then eventually moving into the I-80 area. Oh yeah, there it is. So that's north of Grand Island. Folks there, Kearney. Gosh, those guys just keep on getting storm after storm after storm. So this would be an area of concern. And the reason why I say that area of concern is because this area is likely going to be, we'll have to take a look at the bulk wind shear and some other elements here as well with some other models to find out if this is probably where we could potentially see some spin up. But that's what we're showing for a loop there. And then eventually 11 p.m. things get out of that area, kind of die out overnight, try to redevelop, but just cannot happen. And then moving into tomorrow early morning, that's what we show there. I'm going to focus now on the bulk shear so we can see what knots those are at to see the likelihood of some tornado spin-ups going. So it was right around 4 p.m. There's the peak of the bulk shear, so it is going to be difficult. Bulk shear shows up around 9 p.m. Might be a little too late. There's a good shot there. Let's take a look and see what that composite reflective. Yep, there it is. And let's take a look at the other elements. We need to see surface-based CAPE. No CAPE. So there's going to be a conditional factor there because we won't have the surface-based CAPE that's needed. Basically, the energy will be out because obviously it's later in the evening. And if we look at the significant tornado parameters on the HRRR, that's been pretty consistent to help pinpoint things. Oh yeah, I would not be chasing in Nebraska area today. I would not be chasing in Nebraska area today. So let's move over to other areas of concern. Over in New York area, Albany. Let's see what those significant tornado parameters look like. That's why they have that enhanced risk in the brown shaded area. So the significant tornado parameters, best likelihood could be here. Let's take a look at the surface-based CAPE. Waiting a moment. Not much there. Let's shut these off in case my magnifier's having a little bit of a struggle there. Not much CAPE. Let's see the bulk shear here. Plenty of wind shear, so I would venture to guess they probably have a slight, like a 2%, maybe even a isolated 5% spot. Let's take a look at the tornado outlook there. Yeah, they may end up heightening this just a little bit this afternoon, depending on how things can get going. But there's definitely some bulk shear there. So that's where the 2% risk is for New York area. And then we do have over in this area, this I would say would probably be more highly conditional, depending on a lot of factors. Let's see what our surface base sin is. Around 4 p.m. we don't have any cap, so that's helpful. But then we do have the cap here. So as storms progress to the east, it would be difficult for those storms to continue building up. As you can see, it really ends up the surface space cap, if you will, instead of sin, but surface space capping the atmosphere there. This morning there's cap. It dwindles away as the afternoon progresses. Around 4 p.m. things start firing up, and as that cap disappears. All right, so let's take a look now at the wind factor. New York, obviously, no surprise there, is in a significant spot there, and we do have the 15% outlook, severe wind in this. It'd probably be more of a wind event. Isolated gusty winds, probably 70 to 75 mile per hour winds in the afternoon. Even a spot right here, as there's multiple different wind areas. This is remnants because there's a couple of different short waves that are going through, and then this up here is where the significant severe 30% risk for the wind is. If we take a look at the hail factor, no surprise, not a huge hail factor up in the New York area and this Pittsburgh area. It's mainly the tornado and the wind threat as those lines of storms will go through. And then we do have the 15% risk in Nebraska area and southwestern portion of Kansas. And then these storms will continue to push off to the east. Let's take this surface-based cape off, and we'll take a look at dew points here. As we shut that off here, let's go ahead and take a look at dew points. Dew points certainly look pretty significant this morning. Let's go to the live look here. Evidently there's an issue with KMPX radar. They're having some transmitter issues. That's not good. More than likely some of those storms that cause some of that issues. So there's the dew points, upper 60s, low 70s in some of these areas. And then if we go over to this area, of course, much cooler temperatures. Rapid City areas, there's that cooler, drier air way out in Wyoming area. Cooler, drier air there. So that is on its way. Thankfully, it's on its way. Continuing to track these storms, Overland Park, Kansas City area. They've got a severe thunderstorm watch for quite some time. And it looks like two-inch hail, extreme turbulence, and surface wind gusts to 65 knots, a few cumulonimbus with maximum tops of 550. Mean storm motion vector. That is lots. All right. Okay, so let's go back to the models here, and we're going to take a look into Friday. Let's look at Friday's factor for the composite reflective. And I'm going to shut this darker shade off. It just seems to be having a bit of a struggle. There, maybe we can see that a little bit better now. All right, so if we go through this, it's only going to bring us so far because it hasn't been fully updated yet. This was updated at 7 a.m. starting, or 8 a.m. rather. Does pick up on those, and it's going to be a little tough for us to go out, so we'll have to go to the GFS, which unfortunately that was updated at 4 a.m. in order for us to see what Friday looks like for South Dakota. Okay, there's the area of concern would be there, right here. So that would be areas like Charles Mix County, Platte, Ainsworth, O'Neill area, Lake Andes. So a line of storms that would probably push off to the southeast here. Let's take a look. Yep, southeast. And then if we look into that, look at that. Primarily dry as it continues. A few pop-up showers. That's going way out to the 26th. So a few possibilities up here in the north central portion of South Dakota, but remains to be seen to see how that factors in here. Let's take a look at the extended composite outlook here real quick. And that has not been updated yet. So the AI machine learning stuff has not been updated yet. So I don't want to show that, give false information. So, all right. So that is the latest information that we have. Let's take a look at how are our temperatures going to factor in for the remainder of the day. Let's look at that. Maybe we can finally give the air conditioner just a bit of a rest. That would be awesome. Waiting for that line to update. All right, as we progress this along, it looks like primarily 60s by 9 a.m. So, and then we do have the heat coming in. 80s down in Nebraska. Have to move this along a little slow, and I apologize. I've tried on Radar Omega how to get the temperatures to be, less dark, but for some reason I'm not able to get that figured out. And then the next thing that we show here, still have some upper 90s out in the sandhills of Nebraska. 3 p.m., 4 p.m. here. And this is based on HRRR. It's usually pretty consistently updated. Then by 7 p.m. we start tapering off, and as you can see, some of these areas that start to get those storms, much cooler temperatures here. By 10 p.m. we got upper 60s in South Dakota. Let's take a look and see what 6 a.m. looks like. Oof, nice, much cooler. That's how you can tell that storm front has come through. Low pressure has gone through. Then we warm back up for the 17th, but much cooler start to the day. There we go. 80s again. So I'm going to let y'all go. I do have to get to my full-time job. I appreciate y'all joining. If you just joined or you're watching this later on at a non-live time, this has been Henry Kramer, 605 Chaser. I am based out of Sioux Falls area of South Dakota, primarily chase storms in the South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota, North Dakota areas, but occasionally try to get to other areas. Just depends on the budgeting. We are a very, very low budget company, and so appreciate if you smash a like or the subscribe button. Spread the word for your friends, family that are in the South Dakota and beyond area, because we do as best of a job as we can based on the weather models. There's no hype. We don't like to cause clickbait, that type of thing. We just no nonsense type of reporting of weather. Y'all have a great rest of your day. I will have another update tomorrow around 8:30 a.m., so July 17th. And stay safe. If some storms do get going down in the Nebraska area late in the evening, I might have a impromptu live storm tracking in the evening hours, but only way you're probably going to get that notification is if you hit that bell. So make sure you hit the bell and get the notification whenever we go live. We do storm chasing live, and we do tracking in our studio as well. It's just a little tiny apartment, and makes it interesting. Every once in a while, I got my sidekick Nate with me. He's 11, so he loves tracking storms as well. Y'all have a safe rest of your day.